Hello people, today I would like to read you a little bit of dialogue that I've wrote about Donald Trump. To me this shows how much he cares for the office of president instead of for himself. Donald J. Trump stood to his full 6'3". He gazed the reporter with his narrow blue eyes. "You're a lightweight, you fake," he told the reporter. His frustration morphed into a growl. He leaned closer to the rude reporter. "Never talk to the President of the United States like that again." The reporter's eyes widened. "Okay," he said. It was hard for him not to, since Trump's irritation seemed to be more aimed at seeing the office of president demeaned rather than being disturbed that he had been insulted. Donald J. Trump was a true patriot. Okay, I'm going to stop there right now. What I want to get across is that there's a lot of evidence, real evidence, not conspiratorial evidence, that Donald Trump was recruited by the military to take on the deep state at this time. To say that all his talents that are needed for this job just happened to line up for the job ahead of him is kind of stretching it. He has qualifications probably no other president has ever had, and they are all, every single one of them, qualifications needed for this job. When the military approach him with the request, he's already been told by God, either that or afterward, God gives him the confirmation to go ahead. Trump has often thought that he would like to continue his business dealing to an old age. He loves the art of the deal. One thing about that is that he is faced now with the ultimate challenge. There is no challenge greater than this one. It is the chance to make history, to be a part of the biggest deal ever in the history of America, and maybe in modern history for the world. He studies the situation during his first 4 years, taking on the deep state, getting to know the board. That's one of the most important parts of strategy. Get to know the board. Get to know what you're playing against. Get to know your enemy. Get to know everything. Know yourself and your own capabilities. This is what Trump has played for the first 4 years. But he didn't give them a chance to know him. He gave them a false image of who he was. That Donald Trump started from the beginning of his presidency working on the computer and satellite communications research, relationships with China, on knowing what China was up to, and then wrapping that up into election fraud. This all developed into the Space Force. The Space Force wasn't a separate idea. The Space Force happened because it built organically from a beginning of research into election fraud and communications and money transfers, which is what was needed. So the Space Force isn't necessarily to land somebody on the moon or on Mars. It's communication satellites. Looking forward to future podcasts, we will cover complicated subjects of characterization. There are many ways to reveal motivation and character strengths using the actions of your character and other parts of the structure of the fictional world. Focus on the appearances and actions and comments and dialogue, as well as setting and other functional elements that enrich and humanize your character. Your character's emotions, strengths, and weaknesses will individualize and humanize him or her. Facial expressions, eye appearance and actions, lips, the sounds of a speaking voice, style of speaking, and especially the way a character chooses their words. Dialogue also is a valuable tool in characterization. Some don't know that dialogue is considered as being action. It is the added factor of involving the characters as they spill their guts and reveal themselves without as much effort as the writer. Just trying to feel you are that character, and the dialogue flows from you easily. So you not only reveal that character to the reader, you also get to know the character better by listening to what he or she says. Third-party characters are valuable tools to characterize major players. A conversation two minor characters have back a seedy backroom bar might shed a light on that major player as well as add intrigue to the plot. How he or she does what they do reveals much about themselves. Also, the entire setting, theme, plot, atmosphere, and subtextual dimensions. Donald Trump acts aggressively to aggression and never backs down. If he sees someone who is on the wrong track, he straightens them out instead of walking away or ignoring their disruption. Donald Trump once leaped from his limousine and drove some thugs away who were beating on a man. He also didn't flinch at helping a New York prosecutor nail some mobsters. How is Donald Trump going to respond when the military approach him with the request he help them root out the forces about to betray America? Add, because Donald Trump has a great love and appreciation for the United States of America, its Constitution, its spirit, its history, its flag, its military, and we the people. Now we have a character in Trump who has no fear, is aggressive towards aggression, is competitive and talented, and fond of the art of war, and especially plotting out complicated strategies against competition at any level. Trump often thinks he could continue on his business dealings to an old age for the love he has for the competition. Donald Trump was called out over the airwaves by a prophet named Kim Clement and told he would put a wall of protection around this country. Give Trump a couple of years to study the situation with ingenious minds of military intelligence, and then chance from the start of his presidency to enact a program, study the elections, the Chinese Communist Party, computer and satellite communications and fortifications, and to study the main situation going on by being on the stage of operation as head of the executive branch of the government. Watch Donald Trump build his computer and satellite communications, research into much larger program that ended in the formation of the United States Space Force, a force sophisticated enough to gather intelligence information on all the activities of the deep state before and after the 2020 election. This added to the top secret information so damning to Obama, Hillary, and the rest of the treasonous insurrectionists already available to Trump as president, for him to declassify towards the end of first term and make available for independent prosecutor Durham to put together an array of cases to charge traitors for treasonous acts or tens of thousands of indictments. Thank you and have a good day.